focus on me. Baby, can you focus on me?
Hello, LGBTQ plus DL men, women who secretly love us and support us. And if you don't identify with those labels, you're still free to subscribe to the channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I have a very special video that I am recording today. And it's something that I sort of channeled while I was cooking earlier. And what I was thinking is that many people aren't aware of love energy. They always pose that question or ask that question of, do you love me? Or what is love? And when I think of love, because I've experienced love, I've noticed that also there are other love energy readers or psychic mediums or spiritual teachers, and I rarely ever hear them say, I love you. Now, I have heard some spiritual teachers use I love you. And I think that after we become aware of what love is, we tend to not use the words I love you to complete a person, because we understand what love is. And unconditionally, love is spirit. Spirit is the truest form of unconditional love. And when we think about love, when I think about love, love is something you become. And so you also have to understand how to allow yourself. Like, you have to allow yourself to receive yourself once you become it. Because spirit is the experience that you're having of love when you're on your spiritual journey. And so often when many spiritualists are becoming aware of certain energies on their journey, they start to realize that the people that say I love you aren't truly aware of what love actually is. And it's not that they don't love you, they do. They're just loving you from their level of experience in life. They're loving you from their vibration. And they could just not be a vibrational match. It's not that they don't love you, they do. They just aren't aware of the unconditional love from spirit. Some people say, I love you, and they want you to stay small so that you don't, from their experience of life, get hurt. They don't want you to experience certain things out of fear. But fear and love it doesn't work together. It's a part of the experience so that you become aware of how to be on the path of unconditional love. But some people, because they have experienced certain things, they want to shelter you away from those certain experiences. So they use I love you, don't go. But when spirit is calling you to be on the spiritual path and be enlightened and use your gift, you have to find obedience. Obedience to spirit versus the people that have said that they raised you. I raised you since you were a child, is what they say. But I belong to spirit. I belong to God. And that's what's going to allow me to achieve what I need to achieve. And they can't deny that if they are fearing, if they call themselves non-fearing or whatever they say. When I think about the word presence, or what it means to be present, I think of how nothing outside of the present moment truly exists. And a lot of times, I didn't understand. Let's just, for educational purposes, I can say that in the past, I was in a place of thinking that presence meant non-action. And it can. Stillness can mean that. In the past, I spoke about this probably in a previous video about being nonverbal in the year of 2021 and 2022. And there were some people in the family that, I don't want to judge them with names. But what I can say is that I was just in this thought process of being nonverbal was being present. And it wasn't intentionally being nonverbal, but it was more of allowing myself to experience them from their level of consciousness. And that's how people love you, from their level of consciousness. So it's not that they don't love you, they're just loving you from their level of consciousness. And nothing is happening without the consent of spirit or without the consent of you. But you aren't aware of that until it's already happening. But with presence, right? Everything that's happened in the past doesn't exist in the present. Everything that's going to happen in the future doesn't exist in the present moment. So what exists? What is happening right now? You're watching this video, maybe listening to this video, maybe cooking while you're listening to the video, maybe talking to a significant other while you're watching the video. Anything could be possible. You could be in the car listening to this video. But the thing is, nothing exists except for the present moment. You can't think your way through the experience. And there we go. I channeled what he said. This guy on a live video that on TikTok spoke about he prays for God to give him a sound mind. And the thing about meditation is you are finding stillness within your meditation. So if you're asking God for a sound mind, you're asking for something to interrupt that stillness, correct? Or something to be heard while you're in stillness. And if you're praying for that, you're praying against creating stillness within the mind. Because nothing exists except for the now moment and the present moment, which is complete stillness. A lot of times when people are praying or when the family members are praying, I sometimes there's sometimes like anxious feelings around people praying. Because if a person isn't as enlightened as you, then they can unintentionally manifest something for you from their level of consciousness. Because when you are holding hands with the person, it is almost the same exact thing as how people see witches that are holding hands, that are casting a spell. Manifestation and prayers are almost very similar. The same action is happening. Your words are very powerful and you're speaking them out into existence, and then you're releasing with the idea and the belief that what you're praying for or what you're casting a spell on is going to be delivered by the universe. And the universe echoes yes to what we are wanting to manifest. In the past, I have read a message from Spirit, an angel number, that read these words: be careful what you wish for. And when I think about that, when we are praying for something or wishing for something, it can be granted with Spirit's consent. But I've realized that if it's not for us, if it's not meant for us, then sometimes Spirit will block that wish, if that's making sense. Or Spirit will allow us to receive the feeling of having what we're desiring and kind of, reiterate the question, are we truly wanting what we're asking for? Because this is what it's going to feel like once you receive what you're asking for. And then when we understand what it feels like, we realize that we may not want that anymore. And so what I can say is that if you are clairsentient or have the ability to have clear feeling, then you may understand what it's like to have a person pray for something for you, or wish something for you, or on you, or have negative energy, projected your way. And then realizing that because there are people with not so great intentions for you, when they see that you are ascending, you have to become aware of what they call spiritual protection. But then you have to also become aware that Spirit will not allow something that isn't for you to happen for you. Sometimes experiences happen for you. It's not even sometimes. Everything is happening for you. Sometimes that person is speaking certain things towards you they're actually working for Spirit by pushing you into the direction of where you are meant to go, until you find your own way of being. Because if you are still being led by Spirit, in which you are always led by Spirit, right? But until you find your path, if you are not where you are meant to be, Spirit will help guide you to where you are meant to be. Recently, I visited a place where I moved from, and I realized that there was just such stillness within the experience that I was having, that it was this question that arose: is where I am now where I am meant to be? And Spirit was saying, I wanted to know if you could hear me. When I was experiencing the stillness, Spirit said, I wanted to know if you could hear me. And that was the message. And it was just such a peaceful experience, and I was communicating with the ancestors, but I was kind of enraged with the idea of moving without a plan. And Spirit was saying, trust. And there has to be some type of obedience when you hear those words. And the idea of having being raised by people that have raised you to believe certain conditional things. You have to learn how to uncondition those things. Like when you create those certain thought patterns of things not happening for you, because many people say, well, you have to work. This money isn't going to fall out of the sky. Well, what if it did? Then those people would be proved wrong. What if money was delivered to you? What if you are that special that money can be delivered to you? What if you are that special that trip that you want to go on to, that you want to go to, somebody grants that trip for you, but you have been conditioned to think that it can't happen for you by people that truly don't understand love. Spirit. If Spirit is saying that it's going to happen for you, you have to have that belief. If nothing out of Spirit's control, like if it can't happen without the consent of Spirit, and if you believe in God or Spirit or whatever you pray to or manifest with, or your higher self, whatever you have that belief in, if you believe that it's going to happen for you, then the people that are saying, oh, that, you know, that job of what you're trying to do, it ain't gonna make no money. But if God is telling you it's going to happen, or your higher self is telling you it's going to happen, then you have to believe that energy source. Because those people that have conditioned you, they are at a vibration that isn't a match to yours. They're not the enemy. You have just been conditioned to think they are the enemy. They're just not enlightened as you. Some celebrities, even Sexy Red, right? Some people call her music raunchy. Some people say things about a lot of people's creation. There are some people that you may not feel are as talented and deserve what they're receiving. So if they can make something of themselves and be seen as worth it and worthy, then what would make you any different? A lot of times when I channel a message, right, it's not even just for the viewers. Sometimes it's for myself to have that belief in myself, to have that belief in others. You may watch people on YouTube and you yourself are deserving of being received the way that you allow others to receive you. When I've seen some beings speak about how they are alone or lonely, or they have certain doubts about how they look. And here's the thing. If you believe in spirit or the ancestors or anything spiritual, you're never alone. This conscious, the collective conscious, is universal. We are here to experience ourselves. And if it's spiritual, then it can exist within anything living. And everything that seems to not be living still has a purpose. And so with that being said, when you are aware of those beings that say, oh, they're ugly, or they have the doubts about their own physical features, somebody is going to love those physical features. Maybe you just haven't met them yet. Maybe you are needing to focus on loving those features yourself so that that person that loves those features can enlighten you even more. I also think that it wouldn't be true authenticity if I didn't add something about the twin flame connection. And what I've noticed is that divine feminine will often receive a message that the divine masculine will not come in. And what they mean by that is that union will not happen until they are ready and aligned, until you have both alchemized the energy and become into alignment. But when we hear those things, we're thinking about what they are needing to do. And the thing about the mirroring that has to go on, you have to sort of ask yourself, well, the things that I'm wanting from this person, am I able to give myself those things? Do I see the value within myself? Do I see that I am beautiful? So that when I am in union with them, or a soulmate, or whoever, that I don't seek that validation outside of myself, because I do have that validation within myself. It's a part of self-love to understand that everything that you are willing to give up and do to be in a relationship with the other being, you should have the awareness of how to do and give up those things for yourself, to love yourself. And if it isn't equal, and what I mean by that, if you aren't willing to take the same actions and do the same things to be with that being for yourself, then it's just a sign or confirmation that there is some things to become aware of for yourself and how to love and appreciate yourself. You're worth it. You're worthy. You deserve it. So allow yourself to receive yourself. Allow yourself to love yourself so that you do know how to love others. I really enjoyed this conversation. If you enjoyed it, you can react to the video with a like, a comment. And if you didn't, watch another video to see if you can react to any of those videos. I really enjoyed it, and until we meet again.